Well, hello, everybody. Well, this is a big one. Uh, this is big. I mean, Ruiz is here with me. It's
Yes.
Wrestling, our 8th episode, but it is also our WWE SummerSlam 2023 recap, review, highlights, and all. But here's the cool thing. We have a firsthand account because
Yeah.
Louise was there. You were there in the Motor City in Detroit. Before we get into the matches, tell me what overall was
When
like.
it comes to pillows,
Sorry,
one size
overall was
is
like
not-
over the weekend. Like what went down? Who'd you
Yeah.
see?
So I flew in on Thursday, and I was lucky enough to be able to only a few of the media members were able to get like access to the charity event on Thursday, and they ended up letting me go. And that was like a great way to kick it off because like they did the whole like Special Olympics and then the public schools and all that stuff, and they let us interview a few of the guys. I was able to interview Montez and Ricochet, which was cool because I haven't been able to do them yet, and they were awesome. They were hilarious. They were really good. Um, I went with my uncle. Like we've mentioned him a couple times on the show. Me and my uncle went together, and he
Let's
loved
see.
it.
Uncle's part of the show now. So
Yeah.
Uncle's
We
first
gotta
name.
we gotta get him on.
We gotta get him to come on. We need Uncle to come on next time. So
Yeah.
Uncle first name.
Joel. Uncle Joel.
Uncle Joel is a wrestling fan.
A big
So
one, yeah.
With you. Was he there with you at the community thing? And
Yeah, he was there for everything. Yeah.
Did he freak out when he saw like Ricochet?
Yeah, I asked him. I was like, because he was pretty composed, but I was like, is it weird? He was like, to see them that close. He was like, yeah, because that's the way I got like the first time at Mania. I was like starstruck. I was like, I can't even interview this person. Like my first interview was terrible. Like I was stuttering. Like I was nervous. Like, and now like I've gotten a little bit better. I've gotten used to just acting like they're normal people because they really are like super down to earth. A few of them are really like, for example, like I said, Montez was my favorite interview so far. He was super cool. He was asking me about my sneakers. He told me like he was acting like I knew him for years. So it was really cool. It was definitely fun.
And he texted me, and I can definitely say the Montez interview was super cool.
Yeah.
Like he was very like chill and talking.
Just like talking like my friend.
Yeah. And like he was real, and I think he really liked you. Like I thought he was like, oh, this guy's cool. Like he really liked you. Now, yeah. So then what? So then you interviewed. Then what happened?
I interviewed Ricochet. I got Ricochet, and that was a good one. And then we left there. We hung out. Let's just say Detroit, the city around the stadium and all of it. It's really nice. It's a really nice area. They got really nice restaurants. People were walking around. I stayed in the casino, so it was cool. You go down to the casino like every night and hang out. So Friday was the media junket, and that was, let me just say, because you were there for WrestleMania, it was so much more organized and like well run than the one.
Of course, you would say that.
Yeah, and I told one of the people that ran it, I was like, listen, I gotta tell you guys, like this is 10 times. Like I was like, this is so much better, and she was like, it's great to hear that. Like how like at WrestleMania, for anybody that didn't know, the people were moving around, like the wrestlers were walking around. For this one, they basically set wrestlers in front of things, and you waited in line to interview them, which was so much easier because you don't have to worry about not getting them. You just gotta wait online.
Oh, really? Now that's interesting. So
yeah. So then, for example, like everybody wanted Finn Balor, so that was the longest line. But while everyone was waiting on Finn Balor, I was able to get Maxine, who had no line. Baron Corbin had like barely any line, which was cool. So I was able to get those two while just waiting for Finn Balor's line to get shorter, and I just jumped in to get Balor. So it was definitely a lot easier.
Like you could, like if Balor's line is long, you jump over to Maxine's line.
Like I looked over at Maxine and she had nobody. I was like, all right, I looked up a few things about her. I was like, all right, let me go interview her and just get the Alpha Academy was there, and then Gunther was the big one, but he had the longest line there, so I didn't even try to get him.
It was impossible, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to wait. But Finn Balor was the one I really wanted. I wanted to get him, so I'm glad I got him.
You did get Finn.
Yeah.
How was that? What was he? What did he?
He had, so like you were there. You know how like Bianca had like the person behind her like telling us to wrap it up like after like one question. Yeah, he was the main guy for that. Like they had like the person, like I asked 2 questions, she was going like this. So that part was a little like frustrating, but he himself was super cool. He wanted to be there. He made a joke about my mics being small, just like Strowman did. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was really. I told him about how me and my uncle who were there for his last match at SummerSlam against Rollins in Barclays. So it was pretty cool to interview him now. Like it's kind of crazy that I'm interviewing him.
Did he bring up the 7 years? Did you talk about 7 years?
He brought up how he was like, yeah, I had to train differently. I got to make sure I don't get hurt this time. All this stuff. So it was It was really good, and I think this group of people, Montez, Ricochet, Finn, and Maxine and Baron, were definitely like my favorite group so far that I got to interview.
And originally, wasn't Cody supposed to show up?
So
what,
Cody, so
what
listen to this.
happened
So
to
Cody,
Cody? Okay.
so Cody was there at the charity event, and everyone there was supposed to be available for interviews. It was like Cody, Bianca, Montez, the Alpha Academy, Ricochet. That's who was there, and Maxine. So Cody was talking the entire time. He was there. I have videos of him talking. Once the charity event ended, he was gone. Like out the door, didn't say bye, gone. And then uh our friend from the communications walked up to everybody and was like, yeah, no Cody. Cody's gone. So you got everybody else besides Cody.
Oh,
So
you
it
mean
was
from the WWE
yeah,
guys?
he was telling us, he was like, yeah, Cody's gone. Just letting you guys know. You got everybody else besides Cody.
Would you say, I heard in the Triple H say in the post media scrum, was there like 150? Like, it was smaller, but a lot.
It was smaller than WrestleMania, but it was still definitely like bigger than like Backlash had like 10. Like it was like 10 people there. Like it
Right.
was like that. Yeah. So like it was definitely a lot, but it was, I think the way that it was run made it so much easier to actually get people, which I think was a lot smarter. They probably, because I was talking to Chris Van Fleet because he remembered me from WrestleMania, and he was saying how like WrestleMania was like one of their first times ever doing that. So like they still were like kind of learning. So I think they're kind of adapted to see what works and what doesn't. So it was definitely good. And then so Friday we had that, and then we kind of just hung out the rest of the day. I went to a Tigers game, which was pretty cool. Detroit
Oh, you
Tigers.
did?
Because I like to go to, like, my goal is to go to all the stadiums, MLB stadiums. So I was like, all right, I'm there. I might as well just go.
How
So we
was it?
went.
How was
It
Tiger
was a
State?
beautiful stadium.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, it was Comerica. It was beautiful. Like,
America.
yeah. So then we went there, and then Saturday we got to just chill all day and then go to the SummerSlam, which was
Did you go to
fun.
SmackDown?
So SmackDown, that's what we were surprised. SmackDown was actually in Ohio, which was like an hour from where we were. So they didn't do SmackDown in Detroit, which didn't make any sense to me.
Oh,
But
that's right. Now that you bring
yeah,
that up, I was like, because I
yeah,
remember
we were very confused. I was like, okay, but it's didn't really make any sense. I could have just done it in the Pistons arena, but
they usually do have the
yeah,
SmackDown, right? So in the go home show at the same.
yeah,
Interesting. Okay, so the EST was there, but you didn't
yes.
interview her,
She
right?
actually, which is funny.
But she
She
was
actually
popular.
remembered me. She actually remembered me from my interview at WrestleMania. She saw me because I interviewed Montez, and then as they were walking up to each other, she was like, "Oh my God, how you doing?" Which was pretty cool. So that was really cool. Yeah, it was nice.
And you still don't like the EST.
Off camera, I would be friends with her.
Okay,
On camera,
but didn't you tell me that the kids really liked her?
Bianca and Montez they were freaking out, like freaking out. They were the main people. It was cool to see. Like she came out and they went nuts. Like Alpha Academy came out and they were like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
And then me and my uncle were saying, because I felt bad because like they had a war veteran there and he was like there to talk and stuff. But like right as about he was about to talk, they had all the wrestlers sit in the crowd like with the kids. So like he was talking and the kids are freaking out, like screaming, dancing, and like trying to talk to these wrestlers. And this poor guy is trying to talk to all the kids. And they're not paying attention. And me and my uncle were like, I feel so like he was talking and you just couldn't hear a word he was saying. So I felt bad. But I
Now, did
mean,
you hear Cody talk to people? Was Cody doing
yeah,
something?
Cody was on the mic. He basically hosted the event. He did the whole
Ah,
event. He talked. He introduced everybody. He was like the mayor of Detroit for the day. And then once it was over, he was gone. He was left, private jet out of there. I don't know where he went, but yeah.
so was the hotel you were at filled with people that were going to
So it was filled with people who were going there, and it was also filled with media people. I saw a bunch of the people that were in the media that were there. They were also staying because it was all like it was perfectly set up to the point where we didn't take any Ubers while we were there.
you
It
could
was
just go?
all it was
Yeah.
literally like hotel, 10 minutes to Ford Field, 10 minutes to the Tigers, 10 minutes to the event. Like it was perfectly, that was the best part. That we didn't take any Ubers. We just walked 10 minutes and it was there. And the area was nice.
Okay,
Outside
so
it was
yeah,
a little different, but the inner city was really nice.
it was.
Yeah, and Detroit style pizza is really good. It's really
So
good.
you're giving that an A over
Yeah,
Chicago? Pizza?
100%.
Okay.
I have not been to Chicago yet, but I gotta try it.
What about Jersey pizza though?
Jersey pizza is one of the top ranked ones, but I kind of like Chicago a little bit better because I like thick like pizza, so that's
The
exactly
deep,
what I
like the
wanted.
deep dish pizza.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's Chicago.
New
Um,
Jersey's really thin.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know that. I know that. So are you going to post the interviews on your TikTok, and are we going to post them on our YouTube Shorts here, or what?
Yeah,
What?
so we're gonna do. So we're definitely gonna post. We should start probably after the show or something. We'll do a couple of the video interviews on YouTube on this one, and then if I posted a couple, I didn't post full interviews, but I posted a couple of the clips on my TikTok just to get some like videos out there. And like the Ricochet one, I asked Ricochet like what his Mount Rushmore was for high flyers, and that one like is doing really well right now because people are like debating in the comments. It's pretty funny. So like it's pretty cool. And the Maxine one was good.
Was anybody disappointing to you when you met them?
I would say honestly the complete opposite. I think Baron, I was expecting him to be like a little bit of like a jerk kind of, and he was awesome. Like he was hilarious. He was really like he was like we were talking, like I was telling my uncle how like I couldn't tell if Baron would be like in character or not, but he wasn't at all. And like all of them, like even Finn was like joking around, like having a good time. Like it was pretty cool. And I got to meet a few of the media members who were also there, and they were like they're all like super nice. So it's like a little community, which is like really cool.
Which is
It's really
cool.
fun.
And what
Yeah.
is the deal with Baron Corbin? I'm trying to still figure out, like,
I asked him like
did
how
you
it
ask
was
him like what's going
like
on?
I asked him like how it was like being in NXT, and he said that he kind of asked for it because he kind of like wanted to work on like he felt like he was getting a little stale like with his character, so he wanted something new. And he says he loves working with these young guys who really want it and like really want to be there. So he says that he loves working at NXT right now and that he's really enjoying himself.
Right, because
And
they're
he says it's more free time at home because you're not traveling as much. So which is pretty good for an older guy like that. He's been around for so long. He probably wants
okay.
to
Okay, wait.
hang
What are
out.
what are we constituting older?
Well,
Oh,
a veteran at least I get at least
a veteran guy.
a veteran that's been there for 15 years basically that wants to probably
Right,
chill at home and
right,
cook his barbecue that he makes on
right,
his TikTok.
right.
Yeah.
And it was interesting just to get to piece of news. I wanted to get your opinion on this publicly. So, were you shocked that Kenny Omega and the Bucks, everybody stayed with AEW? And I
Yeah.
know you were pushing for Omega to come to WWE, but when you read that press release and you heard what they said, or you read what they said in Sports Illustrated, all of these guys, now Omega's not married and doesn't have kids, but the other guys, they want to, like, a lot of it was being home more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get it. It's just like for me, like I said, for me personally, like they had like this supposedly basically what we read was that they had this pact that like if they would all go to WWE or they would all stay at AEW. And like I don't know. I just I was telling my uncle like I just don't get how at this point of your career like an Omega Reigns WrestleMania would do like literally Rock Hogan like Rock Stone Cold numbers. That's why I don't understand how I understand all the stuff they said, but I don't get how you couldn't just like bite down and be like, all right, I gotta. If he's older, like he's an older guy like for wrestling, so it's like how could you not want to main event WrestleMania, which you would like if he signed with WWE, he would main event WrestleMania this year. Imagine a Cody Omega WrestleMania. That would be awesome. Like that's what I don't get. I mean, I guess he's there, and he's probably at this point. I don't know what they said exactly how long it was.
They
This is
never
multi-year.
said, they never
Yeah,
said it's multi-year, but they never
yeah.
said how
So I
long.
mean, he'll at least be there like a minimum of 3 years, I'm guessing. So I mean, at that point, is WWE gonna even want him? So like, it's probably not gonna happen at this point, which sucks. But it's whatever, I guess. But I wasn't too happy when I saw that.
So you go into Ford Field and you get to your seat, and what did you think of, like, the whole thing? Were your
It
seats,
was
what was it like being in there?
we were
Because
sitting.
the crowd was
Yeah,
electric
the
there,
crowd
most of it.
I was not expecting because Detroit's
Uh,
not like a big.
it was
Detroit's
off and
not
on,
a, yeah. They started out hot and
and then
it
they
was
just
really
fell
good.
asleep.
Yeah, and then they picked it back up. But the crowd was great. And when I tell you we're walking through the concourse getting food and stuff, and it is every single 5 seconds, it's the LA Knight, yeah. It is over and over again. He is the top guy, like shirts. My uncle bought his shirt, and then all we see are these guys saying this, like wearing the shirts all over. And then we're in the casino that night, and he's walking around because we just got back. We went straight from the SummerSlam to watch the Jake Paul, Nate Diaz fight in the casino, and everybody's saying yeah to him because he's wearing the shirt over and over again. It's hilarious. It was hilarious.
On that
He's
note,
so over. Yeah,
so over. So here in LA, we're LA Knight. Okay. In LA,
yeah.
at my gym, the manager there, I walk and goes, yeah. And then he goes, and he goes, meet this guy. He goes, yeah. And he goes, and they're all all of them, like the membership guy, the membership, they know I was a WWE, like they all know
Yeah.
Raw wrestling thing. So all they're doing is like, yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
hilarious. That's
like
all it is.
everybody's
in the
doing.
concourse. It's so funny. It really is good. Like I have videos and like I got the video of him just like winning, and then when he does the LA Knight thing, it is so loud. Like it's awesome. It really was cool to watch in person.
And
That
what
was
is
the main thing I was excited about.
it was the most over thing.
Yeah, no,
Was
100%. Yeah,
But I did feel at times from watching on Peacock not being there, I was like, is the audience away? Like there, it kind of died and then went up, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. I guess we'll go match by match, but it was like started out hot, and then it died midway because they had that terrible match that we'll talk about, and then they
Yeah.
kind of picked it back up. The next match kind of took that, like the Drew Gunther match, kind of like they got like taken over by the Ronda match. That's why they were kind of still like not into it. And then it led right into Seth and Finn Balor, which they were hot that whole entire match. So it kind of got picked back up at that match. So it was, I guess if you're gonna, they kind of knew that was probably the worst match of the night, the Ronda match, so they put it right in the middle. So they were smart. But I guess we'll talk about it. But I would have liked to see. I would have had like rather seen, I guess, Trish and Becky over that because it was not.
Okay,
It
which is
just
funny because you're not,
and I wasn't into. Yeah, I
you're not
wasn't.
into Trish Becky either.
No, it was just like it just didn't work. Yeah,
It did
just
not
didn't
work. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go down the card. We started off, which I knew was going to be the opener, was going to be Logan Paul and Ricochet. I thought part of the reason wasn't he going to go be with Jey?
They did say, yeah, they said that they helped him out because he wanted to be with
not to get to his brother's match.
He was showing his gear at the match, at the fight. He never changed.
He was?
He was in his wrestling gear in the crowd.
So they come out, they kick off the show, and it's a great match. And you know, there's all these spots, all these flying things, everything people were talking about, and they really made Logan the heel.
He, not that just the heel, like people talking on Twitter, and it's true. Like, listen, I like him. Like, I watch his podcast all the time. I actually really do like Logan. It's crazy to me how good he is. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's awesome. Like
he's an insanely I wrote that in my
athlete. Yeah,
he's an athlete. The athleticism showed by Logan Paul, and you like in not that many matches. It's insane. He's just a natural.
And he doesn't train that much. I'm guessing he's not like training all the time like these guys are. Yeah.
Right. I just think he's just a naturally gifted athlete and can do this.
And some guys are meant to be with other people, and Ricochet is a perfect partner for him. Like that was awesome. And I did say, you know, I told my uncle, I was like, I would love to see them tag team together. I think that would be pretty cool if they were to like become a tag team and like Ricochet turns heel or something. That would be pretty funny. Because I personally think that Logan is as good and as over. Like the crowd, well, he was a heel, but the crowd was still loud for the entire match. Like they didn't care who won, honestly. I thought it was a great finish. I thought it was smart to give him the win, but also not let him lose clean. I thought that was smart.
Oh, I gotta stop you. I hear. Let me tell you, this aggravated me. I love this match. Like I was so into it. I was so pissed that it ended. Like, excuse me? Are you kidding me? He gets brass knuckles. I never thought they'd have Logan Paul go that dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just thought
he'd be a braggadocious, like, you know,
I just thought that it was really going deep into the heel of him, and then also like that was like such classic wrestling with the brass knuckles. Like it's such old school, like such an old school thing that I thought it was perfect for his character. Like I thought you couldn't let Ricochet lose clean because he was very over right now, and he deserves a push because he's great. And yeah, I just think that but I do think Logan deserved the win because he hasn't won in like months.
What I wanted was Logan
clean win.
A clean win. He can do whatever during the match. I was like, what? It was going along so well, and then all of a sudden it's like, are you kidding me? Like I lowered my grade for this match
just because of that.
I did not like the end. So that's where I disagree with you. I loved it though. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I get
it not being. I get why it couldn't be a clean win. So Ricochet wasn't like fully beaten.
Yeah.
But so now is he just going to be this cheating like MJF guy?
I think they're kind of leaning towards that, but also at the same time wanted to give him a win just so he like it would be kind of dumb if he lost again. Like he lost like 5 in a row, so it was like you know. But I think they work so well together. There's some crazy spots in that match, and they both showed that they're Ricochet's underrated, and Logan Paul deserves to be where he's at. Like
Logan Paul to me
yeah.
is like main event. Like he can do
And
anything.
I like so going on that. I would like to see him holding like US or a tag team title at
He
some
should
point.
beat Theory and
Yeah,
just leave the title. He
yeah.
should have a title.
Yeah. That's how I would do it.
So, all right, what did you give it? What did you grade it?
Like probably like a B plus.
Okay, fair. I gave
Yeah.
it a B. I lost the plus because
Yeah,
I hated the end.
I give it a B plus. I would only
like-
give it I would give it an A if they landed a couple of those spots cleaner because they kind of messed up a little bit on some of those spots.
And that was interesting too, and I'm glad you pointed that
Yeah.
out. They were so clean before, like he was so great. There were a few
Yeah. They were trying to like really hard to get like these viral moments, and it's like it's hard to flip backwards and land on your feet, but like it just still looked a little weird, but it was good.
I don't think people. Do you think the fans? Well, maybe they do. You realize how hard some of this is that we're watching? Like,
No, it's crazy. Yeah.
Like it's crazy what we're watching. I don't remember guys back in the day even doing.
No, it's a different style, and some of these guys. And some of these guys, like these older guys, like hate like that Logan Paul is like opening the matches and flipping all this stuff. But like that's just what it is now. Like I enjoy watching that. Like it's very good.
I think I know what my problem is. I wanted to love Logan Paul, like really like root for him, but you can't because they're making him this.
A douche. Yeah.
A douche. And I get the douche part, but I hope it doesn't go like all MJF, but I could see it.
Yeah, honestly I could see them using this as a way to keep it going if they want to do like because then he's technically I heard he's advertised for Fastlane, so I could see them running it back again.
Running it back again. Yeah. So then we get like match number 2 is Cody and Brock.
And I'll just say right away the crowd reaction because not everyone reads Twitter like the way we do and like like me and my uncle do and like sees like the match order. So I knew they were second, and the people behind us were like freaking out, like, no way this is second, no way this is second. I told my uncle, I was like, I knew like people are gonna be surprised right now because like I knew they were gonna come out, and I knew that supposedly Lesnar is like one of those people where it's like if I'm not first, I'm last. So he's probably like, all right, I'm going second at least. So I thought it was great. I thought it was a great segment. I thought it was awesome to have them second. I thought it worked out perfectly.
It was great. What I was so funny in the recaps, what I was reading from everybody was that Cody's pyro didn't go off right. And I didn't notice it, but I guess
it went late.
Top.
Well, it's so you can already tell they didn't have like a stage setup, so all the pyro was only like a little bit on top and a little bit over the ring. But Cody's went on like 5 seconds after it was supposed to, so it didn't like match up perfectly with like his.
I just want to share with you. We have some fans in the chat. Zephyr is saying my favorite match was Logan Paul Ricochet.
Yeah, that was my uncle's favorite match too.
Yeah,
for him watching.
Yeah, and they said it's a good match. The way Logan is provoking Samantha was good too. I thought
that was smart.
Good. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
I agree with Zephyr that was good.
Yeah,
so maybe she gets involved in this a little bit.
I thought she was gonna get involved, but she didn't. But I think they probably are gonna keep this going.
Yeah, I thought that was. Hold on, let's see here. Oh, Zephyr is saying what Michael Fairman says. Zephyr has a problem of why, and we're going to ask our expert here. Hey, Ruiz, why was Cody and Brock feuding in the first place? That was the question.
We still don't know.
I mean,
this feud is
3
now over.
matches in, I still don't know.
This feud is now over, and we don't know what's going on.
Okay, so tell me what you thought of Cody Brock. I actually thought this was the best match of the 3.
I think so. I agree. I thought it was an awesome storytelling match. It was long. It's funny because I actually had a feeling. I was like, oh my god, this match is gonna be squashed for either one of them. I was like, they're gonna squash this match probably second. I had like a bad feeling, but I was like, all right, I'm glad they didn't. But I thought it was great. I thought Lesnar I think they showed Lesnar as like still the guy that he is. He was a freaking thrown around the ring and all this stuff. And then I thought the way that they kind of led into all this, doing the Kimura lock on Lesnar, it was I loved it. I thought it was great.
What I liked about this one is I felt they really and I'll say this about some other matches, they built the story framework within it. Like the whole thing of keeping him out of the ring and beating him down and like constantly telling him like, give up, save yourself, give up. And he kept, I mean, because the whole thing about Rhodes is, you can't keep him down, right? He's
and that's basically what they were doing. Yeah, that's basically what they were doing.
Can't keep him down. And for some reason, I really loved the double Cody cutter. Wasn't there?
No, that was great. That was awesome. Yeah.
I really liked it. I thought that was great. And then the shocker of it was that now they shake hands and it's good. And and then he gives him his approval, like Brock.
Yeah.
Again. But I don't understand as that.
So I guess what me and my uncle said, basically, like what I was trying to understand, and like I'm just hoping that's what it is, was that like maybe it was just like, with the shake of a hand and like him putting his hands in the air, maybe it was just like, all right, you think you're the man, like you got to go through me. It was just like one of those where it's like, all right, you want to be the next guy, like all right, show me you can do it. That's just like, and it was like, honestly, like maybe it was like he was testing him like for his own good. Like, it's all right, now I'm shaking your hand and like whatever, but I just kind of wish they acknowledged it, but I guess they just won't, but it's whatever. But you saw what Triple H said about how it wasn't planned. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
That, like him raising his hand was not scripted at all. Like he didn't know he was going to do that.
Right. I saw that.
Yeah.
But this feud you're telling me you don't believe this is done now?
No, I think it's done. I'm saying
okay.
That's what I think that now that it's done, it's like, all right, like that was like his way of saying like, all right, now like go after whatever you're trying to go after.
Hey, Double C and Jonathan, welcome. Saw your message. Thank you for being here. So yeah, I thought it was the best of the three. Still don't have any idea why they feuded. The whole thing makes no sense.
I honestly thought that match could have been evented.
I thought it was a great match. So I think I gave it, let's see. I gave it a B+.
I give it an A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it an A too. I wasn't there. I just was like, it was.
Let me just tell you, the crowd was just as over Cody as they were for Brock. They love Brock. Like they don't care that like he's like a heel or whatever. But people were saying that now he's kind of like a face again. So like it would be smart, because I think Brock is like when he's alone without Heyman, I think he's better as a babyface, which makes more sense. So I'm kind of excited to see, because he's advertised also for Fastlane. So I wonder what he's gonna.
Do you think here's the thing?
He's the one.
No, Rhodes and Lesnar now are become a tag team.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be smart. That would be funny.
That's where I think it's going. I think
people think that he's gonna fight Gunther for the IC belt.
Brock?
Yeah, Brock.
I agree with you about Brock. Every time he's there, the pop for Brock is so.
Oh, people love it. Doesn't matter if he's a face or a heel. Is
it because he's just iconic?
He's just so polarizing. Yeah, like I love, and it's funny because I used to hate Brock because like I was younger and I loved John Cena, and I was like, oh my god, all he does is beat up John Cena, and like he can't beat him. And now that I'm like older, I wanted him to win yesterday. Like even though I love Cody, I was like, I kind of want Lesnar to just beat the crap out of him, and he just pins him. Like that's just how like I wanted it.
Okay,
it was good.
The deal is saying, Cody, can you steal steps and not get disqualified?
So I was going to bring that up. We were so confused. We were so confused in the arena. We all started looking up if they announced that it was no DQ before the match. But then I was like, wait, they're doing countouts, so that means there is DQ. So I don't understand. I don't get it. I really don't understand. They're not going to acknowledge. Did he forget? Like, did he just not remember?
I was very confused. I'm like, how did that not?
And then people on Twitter were making me laugh because they were saying it was an AEW rules match, because that's what they do. The AEW just has like no DQs, even though there's technically DQs.
Okay, Double C, it's not done until Cody wins the title and Brock wants a match with him. Oh, so you're saying Cody wins the big one?
Yeah, and
Brock
then they run
comes
it back.
back.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
I just can't watch them wrestle each other again right now.
I just don't know. Since we're talking about it, I just don't know where Cody, like, what does Cody do for these next two months of these like non-big pay-per-views? Like, who does he feud with? Like, he's done it again in the press conference. I'm here to get back to the story.
Okay, has everybody in the chat and okay, I have not yet, because I've been like it's been a crazy week. But all I wanted to do was watch.
I watched it. Yeah,
you did watch it.
Yeah,
I'm dying to watch it. Can you without
really good?
It's really good, right?
Like awesome. Yeah, it's probably their best documentary they produced. It's really good.
Is it emotional?
Yeah, he talks about his dad and stuff. It's really good. It's and his brother too. And they talk about
Did it make
AEW.
you
So
like Cody any more or less?
I do like Cody, and it did make me like him more because it just shows you why he's here and why he like was always gonna go back to WWE. Like he just that was for his dad. Like he wanted to come back and win, but it's just like I don't know where he really goes from here until he's wrestling Roman again. Like I honestly don't think if that's the plan and their plan really is to have him beat Roman, I don't think you can wait 8 months until WrestleMania. I think it has to be at Rumble or something. It can't be like how do you put this prolong this for 8 months? What is he gonna do for 8 months?
And
Who else
who
is he gonna wrestle?
I know now they got to figure out something else.
I know he could wrestle Seth again for the championship, but he doesn't want to win that one. He wants to win the other one. So it's like I don't know.
And
I
when
don't know.
he was in when he was in the post scrum, he basically said he was there for one goal.
Yeah,
I mean, which to me was Roman Reigns.
yeah, and that's what he's saying. But one, they're on different brands, and
Okay.
two, what are you gonna have him win the Rumble again? Because then I feel like if you have them win the Rumble again, people are gonna start turning on him because it's gonna feel like Reigns again.
Well, here's the other thing. Like where I mean, do you think you'll want him to win it more? Does a year later make you feel like he really deserved it more? That's what they're trying to set
I'll
up.
be honest, like it's like weird because like I do think he's gonna. I think last year, I still stick by it. I know that they're doing all this bloodline stuff and whatever, but I still think that they could have capitalized on him winning at Mania this year only because there was still this sense of like no way Roman's gonna lose. So where if he won, it was gonna be like great and like all this stuff. But now it feels like they wait a year. Roman's probably gonna have nobody in his corner anymore. It's gonna feel like, all right, obviously Cody's gonna win. Like, and that sucks to feel that way. If like it feels cool to go into a match and have no idea who's gonna win. That's what it felt like at Mania this year. Like I was shocked. Like I was genuinely shocked that Cody lost. And like I just feel like
Yeah.
they go into it next year. It's gonna be like, all right, Cody's obviously gonna win. Like it's like, and if he doesn't win, it's gonna be stupid. So that's why it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. It almost seems too predictable.
I feel like the longer they get, the more you know Roman's just gonna lose. Unless they have him lose at like a Rumble or something, where I think would make more sense.
Okay, before we get into that, so then we have the Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royale. So let me tell you. So
They had Slim
go to
Jims
cover-
all over
Okay.
the press conference. By the way,
They did.
like they were like giving out Slim Jims like all over
Are you talking about at which
at the press event.
you see you got free Slim Jims? So my question is, when we watched on Peacock, for those of us that were not there, we go to a commercial break and apparently we come back, there's 80 people in the ring. Did they actually did they do introductions
So,
or they were thrown in there?
well, you saw no entrances.
No. So what we saw was
Right?
back from commercial and there's like 18 guys in the ring.
Yeah. So
Did the first 18 just walk out together?
they call it like the jobber entrance. They just all walk up together and they go into the ring. But I said, you have your United States champion, and he didn't even get an entrance. He was part of that. Like, isn't that crazy?
And so they obviously they wanted to give LA Knight his moment and then pad it with other people.
With other guys. So they gave The Miz, Styles, LA Knight,
and Omos.
and Omos. Yeah. But they basically did that just to get LA Knight his entrance, which I thought was cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're there. LA Knight comes out. The place goes crazy.
Ballistic. Yeah.
Ballistic. How could you not know? I mean, to me, this was the only way this could have gone.
Yeah, no, like I knew he was gonna win. Like,
it was such a like. They probably were scrambling, like, well, what are we gonna do? Because we don't have any match for him, and he's like the hottest star.
Yeah. It was literally only for him. That match was LA Knight. That was literally the only reason it was there.
And then in the post media scrum afterwards, what I liked about what he said was, you know, there's such a great story there because he talked about he bets on himself, you know, they were talking about confidence or, you know, what he's gone through. It's just there's a lot of messages there with this guy. If you could literally prop him up and give him the belt.
I think like the only reason he probably doesn't have a belt is because like he's so over without one that like it's like does he really need one?
I just don't think they had this planned.
No, he got over naturally. Like he got over only because of himself, and that's probably why he says he bets on himself. Because like it was WWE didn't help him out. If anything, they did him worse. They freaking had him as Max Dupree. Like, what the hell was that?
I couldn't believe they had him as Max Dupree. That was the worst. That whole Max Models thing, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah, and Triple H took over and immediately took that out. He was like, "Yeah, that's not happening."
Okay, Zephyr says, I didn't care for the Battle Royal because I think the winner will do nothing with it. I hope I'm wrong, though. But there was no prize, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's like there was nothing out of it. Like it was just like, yeah, cool. But it was just to get LA Knight his moment after freaking getting screwed and not being on any pay-per-views for the past 2 months, and then losing the Money in the Bank.
Then we come
So,
out of that to a very confusing Shayna Baszler.
listen, I'll say right here, the crowd, everyone left. Like everyone was in the bathroom for that match. I stayed because I was genuinely. I've said before, I was genuinely interested. Like I really wanted to, and I get trying to do something different MMA rules, but it just didn't work. Like it didn't work live. Like it was just so quiet. There was no moves because they're trying to do like a UFC match. It didn't work like at all. The crowd was this crowd. I don't know if you guys could hear it. They were the whole arena was chanting, "This is boring."
I couldn't hear this is boring. I heard like deadness, and also I was shocked. I couldn't understand the match. I'm like, is this I know they said MMA rules,
yeah.
But all I was watching, it looked to they were doing just MMA moves and submission holds, right?
Yeah.
Like there was no wrestling.
No, it didn't work. I think they tried to do something different, but it just didn't work. I said you might as well have just brought down like an octagon. Had him fight like in an octagon, like a steel cage thing. Like it's something different. It didn't make any sense. And the crowd was dead. And then they were chanting "You both suck," which I felt bad because I hate when they do that because it's like they don't suck. They just like are doing what they're like given, and I hate when they do that. But it's like
they really were
bad.
They were doing "You both suck"
loud, like really loud, like loud. The entire arena. And you wonder why Rousey like gets pissed at the fans because like they do that. So it's like
also it looked to me like you know how they wear their makeup on their face. They have to wear the weird makeup. Sometimes I couldn't tell were they bashed in the face because they looked bruised, or was it the makeup? They both look kind of.
it was the makeup.
I don't know. It didn't feel like a completion of Shayna, proving anything. Like I don't know what the point is. I gave it a C-.
I would give it a freaking F. I'm like, I just thought it didn't work, and I think nothing came out of that. Supposedly, and supposedly Ronda's out, like gonna be gone for a while. Like she might not come back again. Like her contract's up.
They're not using her right either.
That was her last match on the contract, so I don't know if she's gonna stay or resign or what she's gonna do. So,
oh yeah, Zephyr says agrees with you. I think the stipulation really ruined the match.
Yeah, they could have had a regular match. It would have been better. I said
Zephyr's agreeing with you. Wait, Zephyr's giving it a D. You're giving it an F. Okay,
an F plus. I think it was the opposite. I think they could have easily used like tables and chairs and ladders, like it had to beat the crap out of each other. Then it would have been interesting because then you don't have to do as much wrestling.
You know what I mean? You know what it was? It was too inside. Like you're watching small punches and moves.
You also couldn't see. I'm telling you right now, you could not see anything live because they're also smaller than the guys. I had to watch the screen. I couldn't tell what they were doing in the ring. I couldn't see. It was so hard to see.
And to your point, it takes the audience out of it.
Yeah, no. It was honestly probably better. As much as it probably as bad as it was probably better on TV because live it was terrible. You couldn't see anything, and the crowd was dead. It was just silence.
Double C is asking, okay, so Luis, what are they going to do with Shayna then? If she leaves?
I guess they have Shayna fight Rhea because they're on Raw.
So are we rooting for Shayna then? Is she going to be good? I mean,
no. They didn't do a good job. They didn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right. So coming out of that, we get Gunther and Drew McIntyre,
which I said was a great match, but the crowd live, I don't know if you can tell, the crowd was just so tired from that match that they weren't really into this match.
They were like, it sounded like it was like
Yeah, it got really died out, and like it started to pick back up towards the end, but it never really got anything crazy. The match was a good clean match, and Gunther won clean, but I thought I give it like a C or C plus. It was okay. I didn't think it was that good.
I gave it a B plus. So you see what the interesting thing is? We're seeing it.
Yeah,
It's different watching
yeah,
it
yeah.
than
No, it's true.
being there.
Yeah,
And I didn't love it, but I thought Gunther was so good. There
yeah.
was
No, he was good, and they were
there was
both good.
that
They were hit.
top rope, there was that rare top rope splash. He
And then
did.
they gave a few like close calls, which was good. But like it just like being there live, like I was kind of like this, like watching that match because I was like tired from the last one. That I was like, all right, like now I'm just waiting for Seth. That's kind of where everybody was at in the ring. They were like, all right, we had that match and Drew. Now let's just get to Seth.
So they
That's
were
kind of where
like
they were.
clunkers.
Yeah, but it
So
was good. It was good. I enjoyed it towards the end.
okay, so let's talk about this one part of this. So now is the Drew McIntyre heel turn coming off
He
of this?
has to. He, like
Where do you go?
there's nothing left for him to do really.
Right.
And who beats Gunther? Who's gonna be the one to beat Gunther? Is there anyone coming up? Like, is there anyone that's like coming up from NXT that maybe do it, or like I don't
Are they just going to keep it on him, aren't they, Gunther?
for like ever. Like I don't I don't know.
They're gonna let him beat Honky Tonk Man's record.
Yeah, like 40 days, right?
40 days. But did you
Yeah.
hear he said something about I'm gonna go to beat Honky Tonk's ass or something? There was some
Somebody,
comment he made.
people on Twitter are saying that Honky Tonk should fight him on Raw. Like
Wouldn't that be funny? That'd be before speaking of, did you happen to catch RVD on AEW?
I did see that.
All right. So it's
Coming
hard
up to his old
to
team.
it's hard to you're telling me this guy he can barely move either. I was like, it would be great if it was, against
RVD from 10 years ago.
RVD. I was like, this can't even move. That's the
No,
problem about it. All right. So then it's time for Finn and Seth.
the crowd was back into it.
What was it? It was they were back in it from both entrances.
From the entrances. Seth entrance got him. I mean, Finn Balor's got entrance got him all.
Oh, well, we lost Louise for a second. Yes, I agree with Zephyr. I think Gunther, right, he will be the longest reign as Intercontinental Champ. And Double C, I think that sounds interesting that you could see Gunther beating Roman for the title. That would be interesting. Or them having a match would be really good. Louise probably had a connection issue and he'll be right back. Colleen, you like the Cody documentary too, and you want to see Finn the Demon. Were you guys into the Seth Rollins and Finn Balor match? I thought it was really great, especially the back half of it. Just trying to get him back on. Yes. Gunther and Roman Reigns would be interesting. I don't think they've had a match. So I think that would be really that'd be really great. Oh, I see. Zephyr was disappointed with Finn not winning the title. Yeah, I thought he was gonna win it. I also thought there was a chance that he would win it. And then Priest comes out and cashed in Money in the Bank on his own Judgment Day teammate. That's what I thought would happen. But then that got messed up. So the Money in the Bank still hasn't happened. He hasn't cashed in. But I would love to see Finn and Damian Priest go at it. That can't last much longer either. They have to be falling apart. Something will cause that. They're leading up to something with the Money in the Bank, with cashing in Money in the Bank between Finn and Damian. Double C yes, you did love the Finn and Seth match. I did too. I thought it was really, really great and well done. Like I said, I love the back half, especially when Damian came out with the briefcase and we didn't know what was going to happen. If he was going to cash in, or how him and Finn got their cues messed up and Finn didn't use the Money in the Bank briefcase to bash Seth with. I thought that was kind of wonky. After that match, we had Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus the Queen, Charlotte Flair. And I'm wondering what everybody thought about that finish. Everybody thought about that finish. I thought, oh, okay, Iyo Sky's coming out. Iyo Sky's coming out. I figured they weren't going to let Bianca just keep the title. Luis is coming back, everybody. So hold on 1 second. He should be here in a minute. And then I want to get your opinions on. Hello.
Yeah, the computer just like literally closed the app. I don't know where.
Well, I'm having to entertain the troops. So we're already on Asuka. we're on the next match, but we'll come back. So we were we were talking about Finn and Seth, and Double C said she loved this Finn and Seth match. She wished Finn was the demon. Wished Finn was the demon and won the title. And Zephyr says, I don't see Finn winning a world championship again. He lost so many times now.
Yeah, you don't like. I guess I'll say like, yeah, like the crowd was into it. I'll tell you right now, they like both of them. I don't think they cared who won. I mean, like it was like they loved. They're both awesome. And like after interviewing Seth, I mean Finn on like Friday, I really wanted Finn to win. I was like, all right, like I kind of like I'm like rooting for him now. Like I was like really pushing for him, and I really thought he won when he hit the coup de grace, and I was like really surprised he kicked out. But like I get it for the story, it keeps it going with the Judgment Day, but like it does kind of suck that like Finn literally has not won a major title since that first day. Like I thought it was perfect. Like it was the whole story. Like
it was the perfect to take that story. And I was talking, chatting while you were gone. Isn't this all like I thought Finn would win, and they could either have Damian cash in or attempt to cash in on Finn. So it sets up more of this angst of between the two.
And what I saw, like I thought that obviously, and then what I saw like on Twitter that I was kind of like hoping they do now that like would only make sense, like would make more sense, like for why they did it, was that like Seth just starts a new feud with somebody, Priest catches in, wins, and then we get like a few months go by, and then maybe at Rumble we get Damian versus Finn for the title, and they feud just them two, which I think would make sense. I think I would enjoy that.
Wait. So when does Damian?
So like say Seth catches, like say Seth starts a feud, whatever, and Judgment Day is still slowly like falling apart, and Seth Fastlane, Priest cashes in and wins on Seth. Then you got Seth's gonna probably fight Damian to like rematch. Say Damian just wins clean, or maybe Finn, whatever, and then Finn and Damian fight each other like at a big pay-per-view like Rumble, and it's them two just one-on-one.
Well, that's heading. That is going to be a huge thing.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of like breaking apart.
And I guess it was kind of early for Seth to lose the title. So I mean, it just sucks for Finn because I did want to see him win, but Seth is like the main guy. He's like running the company right now. So
but here's the thing, like, is
Seth? I said it's funny because like it's like Finn's probably pissed. He's like Finn's like, yo, I did all this press and interviews all this week for nothing, just to freaking lose.
I know it's got to be kind of hard, even though we know things are planned out. It's like when is it my time?
Yeah.
But to that point, is Seth Rollins still not incredible to watch?
No, he's the best. He's the best. He's my favorite.
He's like, I mean, in live, it's amazing.
He's Seth. Awesome. Yeah.
He's awesome. Couple things here as we move. Okay, wait, sorry. I went ahead. All right. I gave that match an A.
Yeah,
Seth,
A. I
A.
give it an A, yeah. And
So
I thought it was cool that he came out with the vest that he from 7 years ago. That was smart. I honestly I saw on Twitter and I agreed because I told my uncle before that. I kind of wanted him to just come out in the full gear. I thought that would have been even better.
Seth,
Yeah. Like
yeah.
I understand, like it would have been just smart to just wear the whole thing.
All right. So we come to Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte. And I knew I called this. I knew however they were going to shake it out. Iyo Sky was going to cash in. But
Definitely not expected the way it was. I didn't expect
no,
it to happen that way.
but shame on all of us because no, I mean it because we're usually really good. I didn't call it this way either. And now that I see what happened, it sets everything up perfectly. Meaning
Yeah.
that you've got Charlotte's got Bianca, and then the miss goes on, doesn't Asuka
Charlotte
Charlotte. Then Bianca takes advantage of
rolls her
Asuka,
up.
throws her up and pins her. Meanwhile, the whole setup was she injured her knee. She injured her
Yeah.
knee.
And I
Bianca's,
didn't even realize that. First
and
of
I'm
all,
like,
that 450 that she did was insane. Like I was not expecting her to do a 450 splash onto Charlotte's stomach, Bianca.
that
That
was
move was
insane. That
insane.
was insane.
Yeah.
And then when the move where she went and hurt her knee,
Yeah.
that truly looked
I
like
she
hurt herself.
and the referee threw the X up. So like now we can't even trust the X because now that we know it's a work. So now it's like now we don't know when
Now we
what's real
can't
and
even
what's not.
trust that. We can't even trust
Yeah.
that. And you know the deal is with us on our chat. He said WWE is overusing injury in matches. Odd they decided to go that route.
Yeah.
In both women's matches, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do? Oh, right, because who got knocked out?
Shayna got hurt.
Shayna.
Yeah.
So both of them had this going on. I literally thought the way they sold it.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it was the same or if they muted it or whatever, but when Bianca won, the crowd was not happy. The crowd started booing, like loud. And I was like really surprised. Yeah.
It was we couldn't hear, I could not hear specific boos, but I
Yeah.
did, it was not like yay, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was like,
So,
dude, she just won. Like she just had it. But once Bianca pinned her, I was like, all right, she's coming out because there's no way she's letting her win another title reign. Like it wouldn't make any sense.
they're not, my point was right to your point. That was it. It was like they're not letting Bianca hold this.
I like that they just had her come out entrance from the beginning and win. I thought that was smart.
And here's the setup. This is the setup. There's no way now Bianca Belair is not turning heel. She's been screwed over by everybody. This now justifies for me. I can finally say.
And you think do you think because Io's on they're on SmackDown, right? No, aren't they on Raw?
Oh.
So now both titles are on Raw, right?
I think so. I can't follow.
I could have sworn Damage Control is on Raw.
Is Damage Control on Raw, people? I think they are. Or did they?
I know Judgment Day's on Raw for a fact.
Well, wait a minute. How do you understand? They have literally decimated Bianca now 3 times.
And what I was going to say about that was that I think. So, do you think with this win and the way the crowd reacts to her, do you think Io's a face? Because the crowd loves her. The crowd went crazy.
I think they want to root for her, and then I was troubled by the fact that their post scrum was a little heelish, you know.
Yeah, Bailey's just a full heel, so that's why it's like
a full heel. So I kind of like. They also need to tell the story about Damage Control falling apart.
Yeah.
So that has to come. I think that's where she'll become the face.
I think, and I don't know if you saw, just keeping with the woman, that Kyrie Sane has come to terms with a deal with WWE to return. The one that the one that used to do the pirate ship, he used to jump off with the high elbow. That she fought Sasha Banks at the Dome.
Right.
Meltzer tweeted. Sean Ross tweeted yesterday that she's returning to WWE in the next few months.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's a big deal because she got released a while ago
Yeah.
and was huge in
Yeah.
Japan, and she they said that they're expecting her to be back by Survivor Series in November.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So I could see them feuding because they were a tag team.
You're saying who feuding?
Kairi Sane and Iyo were a
Yeah,
tag
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I could see them running that for a while.
yeah. Okay, so here's what's being said here. Zephyr said the match was good, and what a selling from Bianca. I literally thought she was really injured.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
Did
yeah.
do you agree with that?
Everyone in the crowd thought she was hurt, and then the guy behind me was like, "Now we're being worked," and then we were. So he was right.
And then Zephyr saying, and I would like you to answer this specifically. I don't get the hate for Bianca. She is such a tremendous athlete.
It's
Okay,
nothing against
go
her
ahead,
athletic.
Louise.
It's nothing
Explain
against
to
her
us.
athletic ability. I'm just bored. I think she's boring, and I think that she's not good on the mic. I don't think she can talk, and I think a heel turn would make me more intrigued. I think it'd be the best thing for her character. I know she doesn't really want to because, like we said, it's the same thing as Cena. Like Cena would consider heel turns, but when you have these kids jumping around for you, dancing and freaking out that you're there, like doing like all this charity work, like that plays a part in it. That's why some people don't turn heel because they like to do that stuff.
Which
So
is
I
what
don't know.
Drew
So I don't
McIntyre
know if
said
she would.
too.
Yeah, Drew said the same thing. So I don't know if she really wants to because it seems like because like think about it. I was at Mania, Backlash, and SummerSlam, and she did all the interviews and charity and all that stuff. So she obviously enjoys it. So it's like, does she really want to jeopardize that? But I
But
mean, I
where
think
could like after this, literally, you imagine she gets screwed out of the title by Asuka blowing the miss at her. She gets screwed out of getting a return match.
one-on-one match.
Gets
Yeah,
thrown in there, and now she gets screwed out of the thing because
yeah, it has to be. It has to.
this
Yeah.
has to be the rationale. I
But
don't.
who does she like? What I was saying is that who does she really turn on? Because if you think about it, Charlotte's a heel. Asuka's technically supposed to be a heel, and Bianca's a face, and Io's also a heel. So like, I don't know.
Unless
I
she
don't know.
comes out and really does something to Iyo, and everybody just goes, "Okay, you're the heel, Iyo, you're the face."
Yeah, that's how it's gonna have to be.
Um, but
Or my friend threw out a crazy concept and said that Bianca um joins Bailey and kicks out Io, like joins Damage Control, which I thought would be kind of cool, but we'll see what happens.
I actually love the idea of her joining like
a group.
faction,
Yeah, a group.
because then it would be like she's part of an evil group.
Yeah.
And we were just told, Zephyr says no damage controls on SmackDown.
So they are on SmackDown. All right, so that's why it stayed there. I just thought she was on Raw for some reason.
Okay, Charlotte is a face. Is Charlotte a face?
Is she supposed to be? People, because the fans don't like her, so I don't know.
So when you were there with Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca, they of the three,
Asuka was she's so people were pissed that she lost, like really mad. Like she's so popular. But then they was fine because Io won and the crowd went ballistic. And when Dakota Kai came out, the crowd went crazy because they like her too. So it was cool.
Yeah, so I see.
And Bailey's great. And Bailey's great. She's awesome.
Double C is asking, is Bianca's husband a heel now? I think so. I think this hurt
Montez, yeah.
Montez has dude it up.
And I asked, so it was cool because I got that. It's funny that I asked him. So I don't know if anyone sees my interviews. I interviewed Montez on Thursday, and I asked him like Jared, like actual questions about like his life, like about like not wrestling. And then I was like, all right, so I gotta ask. I was like, I saw you guys meeting with Bobby last year. I was like, can you give us any insight? And he kind of laughed and was like, you're gonna have to just stay tuned and see. And then the next day they came out and did that, which I thought was pretty cool. And they're technically heels, but the crowd loved it. So I don't know. I think it's great for them though. They needed it. It's smart. It's gonna be awesome. I think he's great together. So it's gonna be good.
Oh wait. See, now this is the whole thing, guys. This is why I hate the split brand stuff. Why couldn't Bianca be part of the Hurt group with them?
Well, they can't. Bianca's.
Isn't she on the wrong show?
Bianca's on what?
Raw.
I thought Bianca was on SmackDown.
Oh.
Because she's feuding with Asuka, and Asuka's on SmackDown.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, they can. She could join that. Make it like a judgment day kind of thing.
That's it.
Survivor Series 4v4.
That's it. That's it. I'm calling it.
We should book WWE. We should be the bookers.
I'm calling it. Bianca joins the Hurt. What are they?
The suit. I call them the suit profits because they wear
Suit
suits.
Profits with Bobby Lashley, and she's the woman.
The woman.
So she could go get the OC group.
It'll be smart. No, that would be really good.
That puts her in. Yes, Double C and Zephyr. Thank you. They're all on SmackDown. Yes.
Yeah.
So that would work.
That works perfectly. Work. Yeah.
I bet Bobby and Montez go up to her and say, "How about joining us?" She has nothing. What does she have to lose?
Yeah. No, it'd be smart. And you can even have her that's also a smart way of getting her out of the title picture for a little bit. You can have her just feuding with other factions and just women in general, which would be smart. So I think that'd be cool.
Do you think you would like her then?
I think it'd be more interesting because she's like, that would be a different story. I love the Judgment Day, and I was kind of bored of Rhea, but now ever since she did that, it's kind of like been really new. So hopefully they do that, or some type of a heel turn. Just come out and say F you guys to the crowd or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I gave the women's championship match a B+.
Yeah, I thought it was good. The crowd started out really bored, and then it got really picked up towards the end, and then they liked it.
So you giving it a B+?
I give it a B-. Just because Bianca won for 5 minutes.
I thought it was clever to have her win and then get screwed over again.
I wanted to see Charlotte lose, get cashed in on, but
and that was the other thing. Do we ever want Charlotte to win any? I mean, she's like the Meryl Streep of wrestling. She wins.
She's just always there.
She's nominated. She's always.
And it sucks because she's really good.
I finally realized she is the Meryl Streep of wrestling. She's like
she had great gear too. She almost had a wardrobe malfunction. She had to ask the referee to.
I saw, which was really well. To your point, watching it on TV, you could see she had a malfunction. She went to the referee, and the girls stayed in the corner and tried to figure out what to do to kill time.
No, I was laughing because they were supposed to sit. They were sitting there, and the Oscar just put her in a headlock. So it was going to sit there and wait for her, while she's getting her boobs covered. So it's
and on the cameras they had to cut.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah. But you could see her going, "Oh, my strap." Okay. All right.
And then we get into we
get to the biggie. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso.
Let me just say, Jey Uso's entrance was awesome. I don't know if you could tell how awesome it was not live, but they were singing his song, the crowd, and then when he was putting his hands up and down on the turnbuckle, the entire arena was doing it. I have a video of it. It was insane. It was like a concert. Every single person was going like this.
Oh,
every single one.
Yeah, I saw this.
Single person was doing it. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Amazing. So they were for him?
For both. They were for both.
I saw so many people for Roman.
Because then when I tell you every single person did that, and then I have a video. This is even cooler. Once Roman's music hit, everybody put their finger in the air. Every single person had their finger in the air. Every single person in the entire arena had their finger in the sky. Every single one. It's awesome. It's super cool. It really is.
And I remember being at WrestleMania and looking around and everybody I was there okay.
Your best friend. Your best friend next to you.
We're all just are we cool looking? And everybody, it showed you that in the moment, in the seats, out in the crowd, you get swept away and you're putting your finger up for Roman. You know?
It's cool. It's cool character.
What was it like when Roman came out?
It's like watching a
superstar.
For me personally, because I never really started going to events until really recently. I've been to a lot now. I've been to Mania, Backlash, SummerSlam, and I've been to a few other Manias, but not as constantly now. And I can say confidently, I've been watching wrestling for probably 15 years. I literally have not been in a live arena where someone feels that way when they come out like Roman does. He's the best. It feels like watching like a Hogan. I feel like that's what it felt like watching Hogan come out and The Rock come out and Stone Cold. That's what it feels like. It's crazy. Once he comes out, it's like oh my God, it's Roman Reigns.
There's something different about this because I was at everything with The Rock and Stone Cold and Hogan, all of it. I've seen all of that in person. And I don't know what it is about this. This just feels more
And
massive.
I don't know if this is part of it, but I'll tell you, like, just being there. First of all, we haven't even talked about how like this is part of it. This is not even their. Me personally, I don't even think this is their top 2 pay-per-view. I think this is their third. Like, I think it's WrestleMania, and I think Rumble is still bigger than SummerSlam just because of the Rumble. And they have 60,000 people there. That doesn't even make any sense. That's I saw yesterday that the Ford Field was like bigger. That was more capacity than like 20 WrestleManias. Like, the fact that they're selling out of SummerSlam at 60,000 and they still had a whole section cut off that they probably could have sold out just shows you. I think that's part of why it feels so much bigger. It's because the company is the biggest it's ever been. Like,
It is.
100%.
It is.
Like,
And
it
also,
is enormous.
and I think the whole thing about this is we did not when you had The Rock, when you had Stone Cold, when you had there was no social media. There
No,
was
even
no
like Cena, even Cena when he at
even
his peak
Cena,
didn't. It wasn't. There's no Twitter.
Cena was no Twitter.
Yeah,
Well, wait, it's called X now, not Twitter.
X now, the X app.
X.
Sorry.
X. There was no social media. There was no TikTok. There is such a way to connect this rabid fan base to your favorite. Like, there's so much stuff you can see that I just think it makes it also like almost more personal and like.
Yeah, and the fan bases the fan bases are like they actually like love them. Like, it's like funny. Like, it's like everyone has like their like territory.
And on that note, before we get into the match, one of the things that I want to know if you think is a good or a bad. So I love the way that you go to a match and the crowd is so in it and they're chanting and they're doing it. But do you think also they're controlling the match? Because what about when they go, you suck, or you this, or you that, or they go, they talk over it, things that they're ruining the planned show. Do you think, what's your thought on that? Because you can't have the WWE or AEW without the audience. The audience
Yeah,
is part of this
yeah. No, it's like, for example, like, are you saying like for this match specifically or just in general?
in general.
Yeah, like I don't really like. I like when the crowd, like, for example, like, well, I guess we'll talk about Roman. Like, Roman, I love the way that he like he plays with the crowd really well. It's like, yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's so
really
great.
funny.
Like,
Yeah, but that's the thing I don't understand. Like, he didn't do that. Like, he was so like he had no like
none.
charisma. So it was
None.
like that's why no one liked him. And now he's like come opposite. But I think it's good because I think he plays well. If they can play well with it, I think the crowd can do whatever because they can handle it. But like I said, the Rousey match and Baszler match, I feel bad because I think they knew like they weren't doing well, and then we have the crowd saying you guys suck. It's like being mean.
It felt like a meet. Yeah.
Like the Roman thing is they're saying you suck because they think they just like him and they just want to like go after him.
Okay. I called this. I don't know if you remember me saying this, but
I do. Yeah, I do. Because we were going over
this.
scenarios of what could
I
happen.
called this.
Yeah.
And I was not happy that I was right, but I was right. So
I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't.
okay, so take me through. I thought, they built it nicely. At first it was slow and methodical. But what was so great about it is these guys build the story within the match.
Yeah,
So
no, yeah.
it was
I was like,
slow.
get ready to sit there for an hour because that's what it's gonna be.
Right. Get ready for an
Yeah.
hour. And they built it, and you're like, nothing's happening. And then they're hitting each other with chairs and tables and all that and the thing. And then Sol Sikoa shows up after he's in the audience.
Which they weren't. I don't know if you saw that it was supposed to be like no one can interfere, but it was like
I thought there was a no interference, and
yeah,
Sikoa was taken out the night before at SmackDown.
yeah.
So I
I
was
know.
like,
Whatever, but I got it. He was obviously gonna be there. I think they showed Jey a lot, like being able to fight them both off over and over again. He was beating them both off, and then like listen, I'll tell you even from the crowd and whatever, no one knew Jey was gonna win. Like I knew, but I just thought something bigger was gonna happen than like just Jimmy turning on him, and like it just doesn't make any sense. I'm not a fan. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. I don't think it makes any sense. I think it's stupid.
I knew it. I just said,
You think about it, it's the only way to keep the story going.
well, because here's the thing: who's going to come in and mess us up?
Yeah.
And the only thing I could think of is Jimmy was taken off TV because he was supposedly injured. He's
By
going to
Roman.
come back by Roman. he's going to come back and betray his own brother. And I guess the reason is jealousy.
Jealousy, yeah. And then I saw, I watched, like, rewatching it because, like, like we said, you don't notice it live. You notice a lot of facial reactions not live, and like, I mean, not in person. So when I rewatched it and I saw it on Twitter, based off what I was seeing and what people were saying, when Jimmy did that, everyone was saying Roman looked really confused and really surprised and didn't know what was going on and like was shocked that had happened, but Heyman wasn't, and Heyman was smiling. So everyone's saying that Heyman was the one who talked to him, or whatever, and Roman didn't, know, and that's what they're gonna go based off of that. Heyman tried to convince him to do that.
Okay, but they also played off that moment between Sikoa and Roman.
Solo and Roman, which they're teasing at because that's exactly what's gonna get to.
So
yeah,
are we now saying that Solo and Jey are going to be together against Roman and Jey?
I don't think anyone's gonna be. I think I think Survivor Series is gonna be all four of them. I think it's gonna be a fatal four at Survivor Series. That's where I'm seeing and reading, and I think that's exactly what it's heading towards because they're teasing Roman Solo, so that's gonna end eventually. Jimmy and Jay's over, but then Jamie's not really with Roman because he didn't really call him. I think it's gonna end up being all four of them against each other. It has to be. That has to be, like, you have four people. It has to end that way.
So how did it, when you were in the crowd and Jimmy revealed himself?
There was no reaction.
What was the really?
It was like, oh, it was like one of those. It was like, oh, we kind of knew that, I guess, whatever. People weren't happy. Like, not even booing. It was just
I was hoping it would be anybody
The Rock
else.
was gonna come out.
Rock.
The Rock. Everyone was chanting Rocky too. I don't know if they muted that. They started chanting Rocky.
I didn't hear that. Yeah. But I was hoping, oh God, there's a black masked figure, like, or whatever, hooded figure. Please don't be Jimmy. And it was.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes away the whole reason that wasn't he there defending his brother, Jey?
Yeah. Yeah, Jey was there to defend Jimmy, but
so is all of this just a big nothing and they're all gonna go back to Rome? That's the other thing. Are they all gonna go in?
That's what it should be. That's what it should be. They should just go back. No, but what I said was that, like, you have, it's just like it goes based off like where you're at with the pay-per-views. You're what is it? It's August right now. Like, you have like 3 months until the next big one, which is Survivor Series. So you have two pay-per-views. This is the only way, because Roman's not going to be at the next two. So this is the only way to keep the story going and not have Roman there, by having Jimmy and Jey feud for a few months and then leading it to Survivor Series, which I think it's going to be all four of them. That's what I can almost guarantee. I cannot guarantee, but I think that's what it's heading towards for Survivor Series. So all four of them in a fatal four-way.
So I gave it an A, but hesitantly.
Yeah, I give it an A just because I thought the match was good and the story was good. But
I really thought, why I loved it is I just think Roman is so great.
Yeah, and I think Jey is awesome.
He was great too.
And I told my uncle, I was like sitting there, I was like, damn, like, I can't believe I'm watching Jey Uso main event at SummerSlam. Like 10 years ago, like, I would never say that. I used to watch them with the face paint doing that dance coming out of the thing. Like, it's crazy.
Double C said, I saw that coming. I wish it was somebody else. See, I did too.
Yeah.
But I called it. I just knew when we talked last month that it was going to be Jimmy.
It's like, yeah, you wrote him off TV. Like, it only made sense.
And Zephyr says, doesn't make sense right now, but we'll see what happens on SmackDown. Maybe it can turn out great. He said it's a B. He's going, it's a B. I had it as an A because I thought the match was good.
Yeah, the match was really good. I just hate that, like, now we watch SmackDown and it's only going to be just them three, like, with Heyman. Like, Roman's not going to be there for a few months, they said. So it's like,
it is, and it is, you know what? It's so funny. You said, and I agree with you. Every time you can tell that the Roman's not on the show, it's kind of like,
yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't want to see Jimmy or Jey, like, against in the main event. Like, where's Roman?
Because I feel like we watch Solo and them fight on the main event every week since WrestleMania. It's like literally the same match over and over again.
So other things I read online, people, were that this is all leading to The Rock coming back for WrestleMania, and he's the one that's going to beat Roman. But what do you do with that? Rock's not going to stay in the WWE.
No, I think Roman has to beat. I think Roman has to beat The Rock. But I do think that has to be the match at WrestleMania, title or no title. I don't. Once again, there's no way Cody fits into the story. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
No, you can't finish the story because the story doesn't make any sense.
And no, what I'm saying is that the story makes sense but it is the bloodline story. You can't be the bloodline story and then end with no bloodline. It can't end with freaking this Cody guy named Cody Rhodes that just gets thrown into the match just because he's Dusty
One,
Rhodes' son.
one other thing, everybody, I wanted to throw out. I thought of this. Now, what if, now that Jimmy and Jey are Splitsville, what if Sami Zayn
That's what I saw.
and Sammy goes with Jey and they become a tag
Because
team?
Kevin Owens is hurt right now. So
Right.
I did see that I personally thought Sammy was going to come out at SummerSlam because he had nothing to do, but they didn't.
And I think they need to do something because the heat is, but he hasn't done much. Like he was so over Sammy. There hasn't been
Both of them are not as popular as they were.
I mean, well, that's because they've had nothing to battle for,
and they're on Raw, which I don't think was smart.
which is dumb. They need to go back. Right. Zephyr said the Bloodline story is the only reason I watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we've talked about just also is I really am having difficulty still watching 3 hours of Raw. I can't. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's hard because I do like Raw and I think it's the better show with Rollins and Cody and I think they do a lot. But it's like the second hour is always like falling asleep.
Okay, so you walk out of Ford Field and what's your grade? You've been to some of the greatest. You were in Puerto Rico for Backlash. You were at WrestleMania here in LA, and you were there. Where do you put this? What do you grade SummerSlam?
I really enjoyed it. I thought that I just think like ever since I started doing these media things, it ends up being like the whole weekend is like an experience, which makes even the SummerSlam be even better because it's like it's like all right, I'm doing these things Thursday, doing these things Friday, and I get to just relax and watch it with all these people that I met like on Saturday, which is cool. And like I thought that I personally feel like I was at one of the best SummerSlams. I thought the matches, like just purely matches, they were really good. And I think like the fact that you had Seth and Cody like not main eventing they're on the card, like shows how good of a card it was. And I give it like an A minus, honestly. I thought the only bad match was Shayna. Like everything else was good. So I thought that was the only bad thing.
Do you still feel the Bad Bunny match was the best of the year in Puerto Rico?
I still would say that I had a better time at Backlash just because the crowd was ridiculous. It was like a party. It was so fun.
Puerto
It was so
Rico,
cool.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was like all the people coming out, all the stuff. It was like everybody coming out. So that was better. But once again, I mean, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think Backlash and SummerSlam are both better than both nights of Mania. Mania was like, when you think back on it, it was like okay, like it wasn't anything crazy. It's just Mania, so it was cool. But
again, I think it was the case of I understand doing it for 2 nights. It's grown so big, but then every match didn't feel as important.
Yeah, because there's another night.
And I think this felt a lot of these matches felt important. This last night. That was kind of like a diluted down WrestleMania. I think that's what I felt about it.
Yeah, no, like that's why SummerSlam felt so good. SummerSlam's card was better, like it's all one card and it's all match after match after match after match.
And I heard they made a comment. I guess Triple H and some other people on social media were saying they were discussing that there were like 6 matches on the card and they didn't like load it up, which is why you didn't get Austin Theory.
Yeah,
you're getting that on TV
on SmackDown. Yeah,
SmackDown.
Trish and Becky.
Trish and Becky.
You have no tag titles on your card. You had no women's champion on your card. Rhea Ripley didn't fight, which is crazy to me. Like a lot of people, you had 3 titles that didn't fight at SummerSlam.
Here's a question, Zephyr. Why is there nobody who challenges Roman for the titles on SmackDown? It is so weird to me. Nobody wants to be champion or what?
It's true.
Is it? But I think he's not there.
Yeah. It's true though. Like no one comes out like, "Hey, I want to fight."
You're like, "Hey, I want to fight you, Roman." Like you never.
They used to always do that. They always do that. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting on a Randy return. They really need it. I think they really need it.
But
he's like really
during not
he's
well.
like really injured. Yeah, he's like supposedly he's been training and supposedly he's enormous. Like I heard he's big, like really muscular, but they won't clear him.
One last thing. Remember we were talking, was it you and I? We were talking about what's next for Cody. Do you think it's Bray Wyatt?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what is he. He's gonna come out on Raw probably on Monday and like talk and like who's gonna come out?
Someone's gonna
Seth?
come out.
Like they run that back?
What do you do with that? So then what? But they're not going to give Cody Seth's title, are they?
Or that's when Damian Priest cashes in just to have them like to because
I wouldn't mind that to get Damian the thing.
Seth and Cody are both advertised for Payback, which is the next pay-per-view. So which I'm gonna be at, by the way, because it's right next to the school that I'm going to.
Can I tell you guys the funniest thing? I don't know how this guy does it, but he's always like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be down the street from me. I'm gonna be oh yeah, I'm in Puerto Rico." I'm like, what?
It's the life of being 21.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you're in school in Pittsburgh? You're going to
I'm
Pittsburgh?
going to no, I'm going to West Virginia. I'm switching schools.
Wait, this is just
I thought I told you. I forgot. I really thought I
Wait,
told you.
sorry, everybody. I thought you were going back to
It's
Miami.
Yeah, it's very last minute, and it was a lot cheaper. And my sister
Are you sure
graduated.
you're picking the school because of?
I'm gonna switch every month.
He's gonna be like, "I'm transferring. I'm going to."
No, but it does end up working out that I literally go to school like in a few weeks, and then like that month it's 30 minutes from my school, like driving.
So you're going to West Virginia, not Florida.
I was supposed to, but now I'm switching.
Okay, well,
Now I
did you check
transferred.
the other pay-per-view schedules to make sure where you got to be? Because
Yeah, so that one's in Pittsburgh, and then Fastlane, I think it's like Indianapolis, which I'm not gonna go to. But I was gonna tell you that I was asking around, and the next like media event, because they're not doing media for Payback because it's a small pay-per-view. It's just like I'm just gonna go to watch. But the next big one is Survivor Series in Chicago in November. So I'm gonna try to see how that
that
works
I
out.
could
See if I
do.
can
That I
head
could do.
over there. Yeah,
Well,
I've never been to Chicago, so that's why it's like
well, no,
yeah.
that maybe I'll meet you there for. I'll tell you why. Because my family is in Wisconsin, so I
Oh
could
yeah,
Wisconsin and then come to
yeah.
Chicago.
And it's the Saturday, so Thanksgiving's Thursday, and it's that Saturday. So it's like I'm gonna be on break, like on winter break, which is cool. So it's like I can
You are because you are at every.
I'm gonna be on Thanksgiving break, so it helps out.
When do you start in? Where are you going? What school?
West WVU, like West Virginia University.
Oh, West Virginia. Okay. So
Yeah.
when do you have to be there?
In like 2 weeks.
Well, I guess that means London's not happening.
I didn't know if that was allowed still.
Anyways, last thing, did you happen to see what happened in the Punk Starks match?
No, I missed all of Collision because I was at.
I'll tell you. And I caught this is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is the special referee out in the there's a referee in the ring out there. Referee in the ring gets knocked out. Somehow Ricky loses. And then after he loses, he goes ballistic and beats the crap out of Steamboat, takes off his belt, off his like uniform, the referee, and starts whipping him with it. So now we have Starks going full heel.
Heel turn. So Punk is a face.
Not Punk is a face. Punk is not.
Oh, okay.
It's Starks that is turned bad.
I guess they didn't want Punk to turn heel. And I guess we could talk about because I was genuinely surprised. It was news over the weekend. So, do you think MJF versus Adam Cole is big enough as a main event for Wembley Stadium?
So here's what I think. I think there's a swerve coming because in that moment when MJF came out and gave him the contract, Adam Cole didn't read it. He just signed it.
You think it's like a non-title match or something?
I think there's something in there that Adam Cole's unaware of. And
but I still think Adam Cole is going to turn. I don't think it's going to be MJF.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's there. And I think MJF, they're trying to really make a face.
Yeah.
Now, to me, the only thing that makes sense for Wembley is CM Punk versus MJF.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. I just don't. I know they already sold the tickets, so it doesn't matter. But like, I just didn't think that their big send off at the night of Wembley Stadium was going to be MJF versus Adam Cole. I thought they'd want Kenny Omega or Ospreay or something like that. But I guess they want to go with their AW champion. So
And now it's FTR versus Young Bucks.
I saw that they're doing it for the Trios Championship, right?
No, regular tag team.
I saw that they're doing Trios
No,
Championship, CM FTR versus Young Bucks. I mean, versus House of Black
Oh,
on
funny. I
Collision.
saw them, but I saw them.
No, Young Bucks are fighting Hardy Boys
No. I'm talking about
on
Wembley.
Wednesday.
Wembley.
Oh,
At
yeah,
Wembley, FTR is going against the Young Bucks for the titles.
Yeah, and then on Collision next week, it's CM FTR against House of Black for the Trios Championship.
Right. I was talking about Wembley.
Yeah.
Brian is here and he says, "Hey, Brian." He says, "Adam Cole may join the kingdom." Oh my God. Zephyr is in France and he's with us. It's 4 a.m. in the morning.
Go to sleep.
Good night. I think Omega and Bucks, Brian is saying, I think Omega and Bucks will interfere in FTR CM Punk trios match.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And I also, I said,
Oh, that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah. So who's Omega gonna fight? Ospreay?
No, they're saying Takeshita. They're like, oh, it's Omega and Takeshita.
And I read, and I read that that backstage they really want to do Punk versus Jay White at Wembley.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know why we don't do Punk MJF.
I don't know why we don't do Jeff Hardy for the AEW Championship.
Jeff Hardy. So when I want you guys,
who's in great shape, by the way.
He looks, but they really should not have him paired with his brother because Matt can't move.
It's hilarious. They're fighting Young Bucks on Wednesday.
Yeah, which should be great. Maybe
10 years ago.
10 years ago, I don't see how they're going to keep up.
Yeah. Matt Hardy's neck's gonna fall off if he gets super kicked.
Yeah, Brian is saying it would set up a match at All Out 1 year since Media Scrum. That makes all sense. So Omega and Bucks interfere in FTR CM Punk trios match. It would set up because September is 1 year from All Out, and that would set up a match.
I don't know how you aren't doing. If you're not doing MJF Punk, how are you not doing Punk versus Omega? Unless they really can't work together. Unless it's that bad.
Could be.
Which is
or
a possibility. But I mean, I feel like at that point you gotta celebrate differences and fight each other because like that would literally break records.
I really think they have to like put their shit aside and like get it together and do you're doing Wembley. Right now, I don't get Adam Cole MJF. I think Adam Cole should turn on MJF. But is that gonna happen? I just don't.
I don't mind that match. I just don't think it should be the main event. And they already announced it as the main event, so.
Well, that's
is Goldberg is Goldberg gonna fight?
Wait, you mean Bill? You mean
Bill?
Tony's good friend Bill?
Yeah,
probably.
Like I just hate how they're advertising RVD as like a big deal.
I would have thought it was a great deal until I saw that like he can't move. Like, and I mean this as somebody who's had multiple spinal surgeries. He can't move.
Yeah.
To watch him walk.
Yeah.
Sorry, RBD. I
waddled down the ring.
Waddled down the thing. And then you've got Jack Perry, who's 26, and you think he's not going to like take this guy out? The guy cannot walk down the ring.
Yeah.
So how do I feel like something could happen?
It's not going to.
Okay. All right. You got to get some sleep.
Very.
You've had a like can we just say in wrapping up, you flew back this morning from Detroit.
Yeah, I flew in Thursday at like 8 a.m. and flew back this morning.
You are in New Jersey right now.
Yes.
By the way, have you looked at the school in West Virginia, or you don't even know?
Well, my sister just graduated from there this year, and my stepbrother goes there right now.
So have you been
Because I
there?
only have one. Yeah, no, I've been there. Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a party school. But
Do they have
I'm gonna have,
broadcasting? Do they have broadcasting? Okay.
and they have like a bunch of like I have like it's like cool because I have one little setup, so I have like for my computer and all that stuff, so we can still do our podcast.
Great, because we're going to be really upset, everyone, if you're going to like.
No, we're still gonna. No, we
vortex
have
in
to.
West Virginia.
We have to, and then it's honestly a lot easier because like when I'm there, it's like I'm so bored. So I have like
Oh,
it's
wait,
like
so just so it's August 6th. So do you start in 2 weeks?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the schools start really early. Like same as kind of Florida. Florida would have started like this week if I was going back there. But times have changed. I only have a year left, so it's like I might as well like do something different.
Okay.
So if anybody's watching, like go to West Virginia.
He'll be in West Virginia.
He will not, but it's okay.
I will not. Yeah. Oh, Brian, you're welcome. Tell your friend Robert it was nice meeting him at the convention. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I can't believe it. SummerSlam 2023 in the books. And it was a great show. I really thought it was great. There were some issues.
We could talk. So I guess the next time we'll talk after Raw because Raw should be good.
Let's just quickly. I hope it's not disappointing.
Yeah,
because that's what happened after WrestleMania. Remember, everybody was like, "So what's this?"
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
I get excited for these Raws because it's like, oh, we get to see new feuds. Who's gonna feud with who? So I'm hoping it's that.
And you have to start watching Dynamite again. It's getting better.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch. I'm definitely gonna be watching because the Hardy Boys are fighting. So I'm watching.
Dynamite.
I will be watching.
Yeah.
As long as Jeff Hardy's on the card, I will be watching.
But let's just hope he can stay on that rope without falling.
Yeah. Let's hope he can drive home safely.
Okay, guys. All right, Luis. Good to see you. I'm glad you had a great time. You can look for his stuff on TikTok, and it's your TikTok name?
Ring Reporter Media.
Ring Reporter Media, and then we'll over the next few days share some videos on our YouTube channel here.
Yeah,
Take some clips, some like little nuggets from them. Which ones you think?
All the good parts.
All the good parts, which are Montez and
and Maxine.
And Maxine,
the beautiful Maxine. That I was obsessed with.
And we decided.
I'm gonna marry her. That's what I decided.
Maxine. So you were moving to West Virginia. Maxine.
Yeah, a lot's changed.
Lots changing. Things are looking up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Look for our next scheduled show here on the Michael Fairman Channel.